Yo, what up, guys? What up? What up? Guys, in this video, we're going to be talking about is programming dead, dude? What is the future of coding, man? Is it going to be around another, I don't know, 2 to 5 years? Is it worse learning? Is it worse getting your CS degree? And what is other people saying in this topic, right? What are companies and other people saying about this topic per se? So that's what we're going to be talking about this video, guys. Before we get started, guys, give me a follow. If you're not following me, give me a follow on Twitch, on X, Discord. The list goes on, guys. All right, guys. So some of y'all may have heard of Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang. So he mentioned this, what was it, maybe about a week or so ago, how anybody who's new, who's trying to get their feet in the door, like again, a newbie, should not learn how to code, but what they should do is learn how to prompt AI. And here's the thing with that. Like, I think there's some truth to that, what he's saying, regardless of what side you're on, right? I'm a software developer. I make a living off of that, right? But I'm being honest, there are going to be opportunities in that industry if you know how to be a prompt writer, you want to call it. I mean, I'm trying to think of the right terminology, the right name. But if you know how to prompt Chat GPT, any kind of AI service out there, right? You know how to prompt it properly, give it the right information, the right data, the right images, the list goes on and on. There's going to be careers in that field, right? There's money to be made in that field. That's an area that, again, you do not need to know how to program, and you could, I think, strongly believe you can make a living and make good money in the future off of that, even now, but more so in the future as well. But nevertheless, kind of going back to the coding is dead piece, I don't think that's the case. I use ChatGPT. I have an OpenAI key that I pay for, $20 a month. Been exploring, been using it more and more the last couple of months. I use it sometimes for some work that I'm doing, like coding stuff. And the area that I feel that it actually works very, very well for very small pieces of the code that I need assistance on. Where it does not work very well, in my opinion, if you're trying to prompt it to ultimately scope out a massive project, right? The overall project, everything within the project, right? There's more to it. Like, there's projects that I'm working on where deployments, working with Docker containers, deploying to Docker container in AWS. But even before that, it goes to GitLab, and then from there, there's some continuous integration to the Docker container in AWS, and and so on and so on, right? All of that stuff that I mentioned, I don't see it. Again, I'm not saying it won't happen one day, but I don't see it right now working smoothly to be able to do all of that with the purpose of just prompting, and it would generate code, it would deploy the code and do all of that, and then just everything just works, right? Because there's other aspects, the domain, being, your namespaces being, set up properly. I mean, dude, there's so many things that needs to happen. Assigning, maybe public IP addresses, and I don't see that today, right? And maybe in the future, but even in the future, I don't see that happening like tomorrow either, right? Next year, or even, honestly, I don't even think that would even happen 5 years from now. I think that's more of, if it happens, probably looking at more like realistically like 15, 20 years from now would be my guess, right? Where you could maybe prompt it, and there'll be tools that help prompt it properly, or maybe some sort of like some sort of configuration file that works with your prompt, right? And in that manner, it'll kind of help deploy, kind of what you do in AWS, right? Help deploy and set up your instance, your VMs, your domain, your all of that stuff, and kind of link everything together, and so forth. But I just don't see that today. Now, obviously, then it kind of becomes, well, why is this guy, right? Why is the CEO saying that, right? And keep in mind, he's the CEO of a GPU company. Beyond GPU, I don't want to say GPU, dude. It's more than that. It's a company that makes chips, right? And the chips that they happen to make that it's very popular, obviously, graphics cards. Now, these graphic cards are used more than just gaming, right? It's where AI comes in. The power of these graphics, the chipsets, not the graphics card, but the chipsets themselves, is what's powering a lot of this AI innovation that's happening today. His company making tons of money, tons and tons of money, dude. So you haven't been following the stock market. Nvidia stock is through the roof the last 2 years. So if you invested in it, dude, you're in a good position. Put it that way. But again, that's what he does. He's speaking from a sense of it makes sense to me from a business, right? Let me try to persuade my user. Let me try to persuade society to forget how to code and go use more AI, right? Be more dependent on AI. Let AI be your default. So now it requires more power. More people are using it. It requires more chipsets, right? For OpenAI and anybody else who's building their models. It requires more now. So now they're making more chipsets. They're selling more. Their stock is going up even more. So you got to be careful, guys, on things. Again, I'm not disagreeing on certain portions. I think there is some truth. I think there is opportunity for that. I'm just not on the bandwagon of saying, "Oh, coding is dead." I remember people like, "Oh, we don't need software developers. I could just write my own, prompt and I'll get the code I need and we're good to go." This is from non-technical people, right? This is for like business people. And I can tell you right now, I don't really know that many people that are even doing that. Now, maybe there's a potential to do that, right? But nobody implemented it, right? Nobody, and a lot of it has to do with you got to get the prompting down well. But even then, I don't think it's there today, man. That's the thing about it. I don't think it's there today. There's still a lot more work that needs to be done, and I think it will get there one day. It's just not there today, and because of that, I don't truly trust either the code that I get back from the prompts. Now, I use it today, just no different the way I use Stack Overflow, no different the way I may use Google or etc. to go if I'm stuck somewhere, if I'm trying to solve a problem. I use ChatGPT, OpenAI, AI in general, the way to solve coding issues or problems, no different than the way I use some of these other tools that I have used in the past, like Stack Overflow, Google, etc. So for me, all it is just a tool, another resource to help me out. It's not a replacement. That's the thing about it. I'm not going to say, hey, let me just prompt something in ChatGPT and, whatever it gives me is going to build out this whole project for me. And then I'm just going to take that code, deploy it, and I'm good to go. And let me go on to another client. And, dude, it's not going to do that. It's not there today. It may get there one day. There's a lot of nuances I feel like that needs to be addressed first. It may do some basic stuff very well, right? But at the end of the day, the more complicated stuff, and a lot of projects have a lot of complications, it's not going to do that well. For one, I don't think it does it today, number one. Number two, if it's able to do it to some degree, it's not well. At least in my opinion, dude, it's not well at all. But I am a fan of AI. I am a fan of there's opportunities in AI. I do think that to succeed in the future, you may need a balance of learning both. Learn how to prompt AI, but also if you're a developer, continue to grow your skill set and expand in different areas. Not just from hey, I'm a JavaScript developer and I do front end, but learn back end, learn DevOps, right? All of these other aspects as well. That's how I think you could protect yourself in the future to not to be obsolete. But then again, learn AI, man. I'm a fan of it. I think there's some good benefit to it. It can help you out, dude. It can speed up your workflow. It can cut down on your time, on the development time. But it wouldn't be a replacement, not today. And I don't see it being there anytime soon, man. I really don't. So for that reason, if you're interested, I will say learn how to code, pursue it. I'm a fan of it still. There's a lot you can learn from it. You could become a freelancer if you want as well. There's some opportunities in that area. I don't think it's dead. I don't think he's wrong either on what he's saying, but I don't completely agree with it either. And again, you gotta understand, I'm trying to be neutral. And his side, I could see how he could potentially be more biased because he is the CEO of a chip company, and ultimately, the more people that use AI, his company will benefit from it. So you gotta take that. You gotta be cautious with that too, guys. So either way, guys, man, y'all take care. You have a good one. Peace.